Drum roll.
Oh, look at that.
Introducing the hippie with a gold heart, the interplanetary man with a man bun, Mr. Coming to a theater near you, Brandon Moon.
That's probably the best intro I've ever had in my life. So
I just have to say, I think I'm submitting my resignation. I'm going to go realize my dream of being an announcer with the UFC.
Welcome to another episode of the Levity Floatcast. Today we sit down with Brandon Moon, creator of Hippy at Heart, also recognized as 2020's Best of Streetwear for the Pittsburgh City Paper. Sit back, relax, let's Floatcast.
It's like even growing up when I was little, like my mom was like a big like clearance rack shopper. Like she would go and find all these nice clothes that like weren't that expensive and just would like buy me all these clothes. So I just always had like too many clothes. Like I appreciate her for doing that, but at the same time, like I always had so many and like I didn't wear all of them. And like now I'm trying to be like more consistent with that, like picking like 10, 15 shirts that like I'm really into wearing and just like trying to limit it a little bit and just not be as excessive. And I don't know, I hate clutter, and my clothes is just the complete opposite. It's just clutter everywhere. So like it kind of drives me nuts too, but I do it to myself. So like it's my fault.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. But
Do you think, how is not only thinking about creating, but now taking it into being a successful business and recognized as, you know, best of 2020?
Yeah, that was cool too.
How validating was that to you?
I mean, it feels good to have people behind me and people that have my back. 'Cause at the end of the day, like it's my name attached to the brand, but it's like people are buying the clothes. You know, it's that connection that I have with the people that buy the clothes. Like I try to be very personable when people order stuff too. Like I write notes in literally every order that I send out, and like
That's
I
awesome.
send out like candy bracelets to people because like I just want people to feel like they're a part of something, and more importantly, like know that I appreciate that they're buying stuff from me. You know what I mean? It's like the best feeling ever is like you just said, like you go somewhere and someone compliments you and then you come back and tell me, and like to me I'm just like, let's go, let's get to work, like let's get back on it. Like I'm going to my office, like I got more shit to get on the website. Like it just gets me gassed up and I love it. Like it's the best feeling in the world. It doesn't ever get old, you know. It's just one of those things. I really enjoy it. I do.
How do you think creating that, how do you think that has changed and impacted your life, creating that line?
Honestly, like it's I don't know what I would be doing in my spare time if it wasn't for that. That's like I don't really watch TV much other than sports. Like I don't play video games. Like I probably haven't touched an Xbox controller in like 5 years. And like you know,
do that.
no offense to people that play video games, like that's totally cool if you like doing that, but like I don't know what I would be doing if it wasn't for the clothing line. It's like I'm normally like sitting there on my laptop at night, like looking at stuff, or like I'm working on whatever I can, and like it's just something that it's really given me like a perspective and a drive, and it's just a motivation, and like I get excited to do it. Like I think about it literally every day, but it's a positive thing to think about. Like it's not like something that's like narking my mind all the time. You know what I mean? It's like something that I want to put all that spare time and work into whenever I'm just like, you know, bulling around, like not getting anything done. I'm like, you could be working, like somebody's working harder than you. Like that's my thought that I run through my head all the time. I'm like, you're not doing enough, like somebody's outworking you, and I don't like that. So keeps me going, but it's been a positive impact for sure. Definitely.
So why did you go to the corporate world at all?
So I went to school at Point Park for basically a business degree. It's called Sports Arts and Entertainment Management was the major, just a very unique major in itself. Like Point Park's a very like liberal arts school too, and they're known for that type of stuff. Shout out to like Steve Tanzilli, Ed Travis area, all those guys like really did a great job with that program. And I loved like the music industry and sports in general. I like did some managing of like some artists while I was in school, and like I just didn't really like the industry a whole lot like I thought I was going to. It was different than what I thought it was going to be. And at the time I was like, okay, like at least it's a business degree, like I can kind of go out and do whatever. And I was actually like working one of my side hustles when that corporate America job that I had was offered to me. And it was a sales job. And like, I've always done sales. Like I've worked retail, you know, done the clothing line. Like I had experience with sales, and I like that drive of like doing sales. You know what I mean? It's kind of like my mind starts working like clockwork, like when I'm doing that stuff. So I get excited about doing it so I could see myself doing it. And at that point, honestly, I had worked so many like side hustles and part-time jobs, and it just like wasn't cutting it for me. Like my dad's a contractor. I was like digging sewer ditches for him. It was just like mentally like just a wreck. Like I had been out of college for 2 years, and I'm like, I have this degree and I'm digging sewer lines. Like, what am I doing with my life? And it was just an opportunity to get out of that. And you know, the money was good and it was a good job, and like they're like, well, you're gonna have to move to New England. At that point I was like, fuck it, like I'm going to New England. You know, like I didn't want to go to New England, but that's just what the situation was. So I was just gonna go after it, and I did, and it is what it is. Like I don't regret doing it one bit. Probably won't move back to New England again in my life. A little too cold for me up there, but in general, like it was a good decision, and I'm glad I got that experience now too. And I met a lot of good people and have a lot of good connections just from doing that. A lot of experience too, just like seeing a part of the country that I'd never had anything to do with in my life, and just like all the traveling I did, and just like it was a lot at the time, but it was definitely something that like I'm glad that I did, you know.
Yeah, as a transplant, I mean, I feel like moving somewhere that you've never been, it opens you up, you know, completely to a whole new mindset, a whole new vibe. So, you know, it's nothing but a good thing.
Right.
Unless you make it a bad thing.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like I think about my time up in New England, and like I really struggled mentally while I was up there. One, just because like it was cold and shitty all the time, and like I was always on the road. Like I was never like at my condo. I was at my condo like 6-7 days a week, or 6-7 days a month max. So like was never rarely there, like living out of hotels, like doing that kind of thing. And like I enjoyed that part of it, but it was also like when I came back, like I didn't know anybody around, you know what I mean? Like aside from just like random girls I met on Tinder and stuff like that, like I didn't have friends up there. So I found myself like coming back to Pittsburgh a lot, and like, you know, trying to travel on the weekends and just like not be around because I just like didn't want to be there in general. So like I don't know, like I learned a lot from that experience, and I'm definitely like happier with the situation right now, and like being back around home this year and stuff too has really helped me, just being around my friends. Like I got a really great group of friends that I roll around with too, and like really didn't let the year stop us. Like we definitely probably did a little bit too much, and like just had ourselves a 2020. So like we've been having a good time all year. So like we just really enjoyed it, made the most out of it, and I'm appreciative for like what this year was, and like what the last 3 years were that led up to this too.
Oh man, it was such a pleasure having you come in on. Thank you for being on the episode, man. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you guys for having me.
Where can people find you?
My Instagram, Tourist Lookup, TOURISTS Lookup. That's my personal Instagram, Twitter, The Hippy at Heart. That's Hippy with a Y. The website is thehippyatheart.com. Other than that, I mean, you don't want to see my LinkedIn, so.
Troy, for the people?
Stay up, stay positive.
Yes.
All right, we're out.
I wanna relax, put my mind at ease. Good friends and good vibes, now that's all I need. When life hurts, come down and float in levity. Let your problems wash away into serenity. Whoa.